Faze Clan responds to a publicity stunt as president leaves for new org after calling out frat house organizations. Riot confirms changes coming to Sage, Raze, and Viper in upcoming buff after first pro cheating accusations levied in Valorant. And ESL One Cologne 2020 will be played online with a new format. All that and more next on The Breakdown. Welcome back, lovelies, and you have made it through another week of wild news. Thank you so much for keeping up with the latest in esports and video games by hanging out with us here at Checkpoint XP. Remember, if you're wanting to stay in the know, all you've got to do is hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell to get alerts every time we post new content. The Breakdown goes live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you can even check out our other stuff like On Campus, which covers all the news in the collegiate esports world. Now, let's jump into the headlines. Faze Clan respond to publicity stunt after president leaves for new org after calling out frat house organizations. If you've heard anything about esports, you've heard the phrase Faze Clan before. Faze Clan is one of the biggest esports brands in the world, bringing gaming lifestyle to the forefront of popular culture. They have huge name content creators and streamers alike operating under one banner, but content creation isn't the only thing they have in spades. Between the Tfue lawsuits as of late, the antics that have been reported by some of the most toxic content creators in the space, which seem to revolve around childish and immature people that work for Faze Clan, and even the success they have had at actual competitions, from strong showings in the CDL, Faze Clan has left an indelible mark on esports as a whole. But one thing that they are not is diverse, and not by a long shot. At least that's the reasoning that was given by the now former Faze Clan president, Greg Selke, who left the organization after 2.5 years, saying, "We realized there was a huge void that needed to be filled in the gaming marketplace." That's why Selke announced that he would be starting a new esports org called Xset that would be focused on diversity in both race and as a part of the LGBT community, after he called out almost every other organization for being a part of the frat house mentality that most of the other organizations possessed, according to him. Laid out in a giant New York Times article, it paints the entire situation out to be one that was done out of the goodness of Selke's heart and a desire to provide a home for diversity in gaming. But the Faze Clan organization has responded and cast doubt upon the wholesome reasonings there. According to officials within the organization, Selke was told back in January that the organization would be looking for his resignation sometime in May, and that it was simply pushed back and delayed until the recent announcement. Will Xset be a force to contend with in the future? It's dicey right now to start any new business, let alone an online gaming org in the age of COVID, even despite the increase in online viewership, just due to the logistical nightmare that is owning a business in the current times. And what does it mean that this whole move wasn't necessarily one of good intentions by the former Faze Clan president, essentially being told that he was being laid off, and that then he comes out and says that he is doing this to combat toxicity and non-inclusion in the gaming scene, something that he enabled while president of Faze Clan? Do you think he means it when he says that when they want to bring a new kind of gamer to the forefront of esports, he's going to be one leading the charge? Comment below and let us know what you think. Riot confirms changes coming to Sage, Raze, and Viper in upcoming buff after first pro cheating accusations levied in Valorant. The Ignition series is underway for professional Valorant players, and the biggest shock to come out of the tournaments has been seeing just how the scene is still wildly developing and just how much there is to still go when it comes to determining the meta of the game itself. Pick rates from the most recent professional tournament were released, and there were some interesting tidbits tucked within that may give some more context as to the latest hints given by Riot devs on who they plan to buff and nerf. As you can see, Cypher stands to continue to be a dominant force within the pro scene at an astounding 100% pick rate, and agents like Phoenix and Viper, who are picked by lower tier players, almost never getting touched in the pro scene. Sage, while not nearly at her untouchable 100% pick rate when the game launched, is still in an astounding comp rate selection, with only TSM breaking the mold and trying to run a team without her. All of this leads to the Riot devs confirming that a buff to Viper and nerfs to both Sage and Raze are on the way, and the next patch expected on July 21st.
I think Raze needs a little bit. I know, right? And I also think addressing some of the problems that I think have legitimately been brought up with the rocket and some of the weird play patterns with the satchel. Movement is fine. You guys can keep your cool zoomer movement. It's too fun. I'm not going to fun police that, even though my original instinct was to. We're not going to. But I think doing some work on the rocket to both make it have some more counterplay, but still be a high impact kill moment is something we want to do, and bring her win rate down a little bit. What would you actually change the Sage's character nerf for? That's what we're talking about. Because I think we're going to have to get a little creative too. Because there's some point where you just like neuter her to where she's like not fun to play at all. And she's already a character that could risk being too flat. So we might have to be really creative about what we want to do to not reach that result. But we also might have to be a little extreme on how we have to hit her. Because the problem might be much more extreme than we even originally thought.
Also coming out of the latest professional tournament was the first cheating accusation that Riot Games had faced within their new Valorant scene, according to a statement that they released. During the We Play Invitational, we received credible allegations of a team cheating and escalated the issue to our anti-cheat team, who is currently reviewing the pertinent matches. We asked the organizer to temporarily pause the tournament and hold the results while we evaluated the possibility of replaying portions of the bracket. After some investigation, it was determined that there was no foul play that affected the grand finals or the qualifiers.
Just to be clear, it was, we run the qualifiers, everything goes through. The anti-cheat that Riot have there for Valorant needs to be absolutely checked. They make sure they check everything that's going on. Now, there was potential for a player within any of the teams in the qualifier for cheating. It was neither of the teams that were in the grand final. It did not affect the qualifier in any way.
Wasn't Noel Penke.
Yeah, and it wasn't Noel Penke. So everyone's out there making rumors. Oh, yes,
his
it was
name
Noel
is
Penke
Frat,
and all that side of things.
He ain't cheating.
Yeah, he's got an interesting
That I
name
know
for
of.
it.
That I know of.
Looks like Riot has plenty on their hands to handle over the next few weeks as more kinks are worked out of the meta, an actual tournament system itself for the fledgling scene of Valorant, as more pros show just how big this is about to get. ESL One Cologne 2020 to be played online with a new format. Tournament organizers have announced that after reviewing all of their options when it comes to presenting the largest CSGO tournament in the world, that the only way to make it happen was to move to an online tournament with a brand new format to benefit the teams that would be competing from all over the world. The biggest shock to come out of the announcement, though, was that they would be splitting the event into 4 different regions: Europe, North America, Oceania, and Asia, allowing each of the teams to be able to compete from home and not have it be a technical nightmare. The $500,000 prize pool will also be proportionally split into each of the regions, with Asia and Oceania, who are only fielding 4 teams each, fighting for a $20,000 prize compared to the $325,000 prize for Europe's top 16. ESL One Cologne, which was originally expected to run from July 6th to the 12th, is now scheduled to span from August 18th to the 30th after moving to that online format. Although the likes of Vitality, Big, and Evil Geniuses have all been confirmed, there's still plenty of teams to be invited for each of these regional competitions, with more teams expected to receive an invite on July 20th. That's it for the news today. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. Remember, if you have any news stories that you want to see covered on the breakdown, shoot us a tweet at CheckpointXP, and we'll probably shoot you a follow right back. While you're there, feel free to see all of the other awesome stories we are writing and producing every single day on our website at checkpointxp.com. My name's Weirdbeard, and I cannot wait to be able to finally play Ghost of Tsushima.